right. Historic. For those not familiar, Historic is the non-rotating format that we have on Magic Arena. It encompasses all of the sets that were previously standard legal, minus the 4 that got pulled when we went to open beta. In addition to that, this format also has a number of cards injected directly into it from Magic's history, thus Historic for the set name. Every quarter, our next set of cards being injected will be sometime in March, so looking forward to that. This deck that we're playing here today is actually largely standard legal with slightly better mana, but I had a request to give this a try in Historic, so here we are. This is a Mardoom, which is red, black, and white, Doom Foretold deck. Key card here, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If that player can't, they discard a card, lose 2 life, you draw a card, gain 2 life, and make a 2/2 night token. And then we're pairing this with cards like Oathakaya, Golden Egg, and Treacherous Blessing, which allow us to have permanents in play that we don't mind sacrificing that also generate value when they come into play. Then our red splash here is not only for 4 Bonecrusher Giants in the sideboard to help the aggressive matchups a little bit, we've got 4 Kroxa Titans of Death Hunger here in the main deck. So Kroxa is a card that can help grind our opponent out of resources, but notably this is a card that can escape back into play and also end games very quickly. So that way once we've taken over, we don't give our opponent an incredible amount of time to draw out of what we've taken over. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and jump on into a Historic event here with this one, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, that sounds fine. We'll fetch a Swamp on 1 so we can go Plains, Agonizing Remorse on 2 most likely. Alright, our Oathakaya here in the opener should be real good against turn 1 basic mountain friendo there. Pretty sure I want to Agonizing Remorse on 2 here. Just try and disrupt their curve. Double light up the stage. Think I just take one of those. I guess they're going to get to light up the stage next turn regardless. Maybe I just take the Chandra Spitfire because it's their payoff. Although they don't really have a way to enable it just yet, huh? I'm just going to take their 2 for 1. Try and drain them out. Yeah, Macabre, to be fair, like, our tax and healthcare system is so complicated that a lot of people don't understand the benefits Obamacare actually afforded them. So they're just like left spewing the bad talking points that they hear on Fox News. Hey, what's going on? Redlocks? Yep, can just get right at the very start of the segment. I feel like I need to play Oath out this turn so that way I can Doom Foretold next turn. But maybe that's wrong. Like, because they have this 1-drop over here, they're likely to... Okay, well, weird. Weird. So this makes them sacrifice non-token permanents here specifically. So worth noting that this isn't something they can sacrifice next turn. I mean, like, the Doom doesn't hurt us. It eventually just sacrifices itself, which is fine. It's going to kill a couple of their things. So, like, if this is just, like, a double or triple removal spell and doesn't actually draw us a card eventually, like, that's fine. So, like, this has already killed one of their things. It's going to kill another one of their things here in a second. Unfortunate that we didn't draw... another spell here. I guess we're just, like, playing a tap land and passing. And then I have to decide, do I want to gain 3 with this, or do I want to sack it to Doom so Doom can eat another one of their things? So, like, the problem with sacking the egg is that I lose my Doom Foretold next turn, and I think I'd like to keep my Doom Foretold. Second Grim Innate, making this bigger feels real bad. I'm gonna take 5 total here. Well, it'll prevent more damage than that over the course of a couple of turns, right? Like, it prevents 1 immediately, but, like, it prevents 2 over 2 turns, right? Oath of Gaia. Oath of Gaia. Egg is a good draw, I agree. So I think I just play second Doom here. So they'll lose 2 torch carriers and they're gonna attack me for 3. And then next turn, I'll sack Egg, sack Doom. And then they'll sack a Spitfire the following turn. I've got 5 cards in my bin already, so ideally I'm looking to draw a Kroxa so I can put that into play. So again, Doom can't ever draw my opponent's cards or lose me life because we sacrifice it to itself eventually. Oh, feels magic, man. Feels magic, man. Oh, well, they clicked through their combat step. Doesn't matter because magic. Them's the beats sometimes, chat. Them's the beats. Woof. Never forget, chat. The shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat. They're coming for ya. They're coming for ya. Probably want this Shatter. Probably want at least 1 less Treacherous Blessing. We drew like 4 spells that entire game. Yeah, something like that. And a number of the spells were just golden eggs, right? What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. This hand is great. We'll bottom Treacherous Blessing. Just need to draw a 3rd land in our first 2 draws. We need to draw a 3rd land like our first 3 draws. If we miss on turn 3 with the 3rd land, it's not the end of the world since we have a 2nd giant. The shuffler's rigged to your local area. At least people who are dumb enough to be flat earthers, like, they don't directly harm anything by being stupid in that way, right? It's not like people who are anti-vax or anti-climate change, like, those people are literally harming the environment and society. At least flat earthing is mostly harmless. It hurts national pride since they came out of our education. So that's fair. That's fair. I saw a video about flat earthers, and a large number of them also seem to be Nazis, which is really scary. Well, I mean, you'd have to be pretty dumb to be a Nazi too, so it seems like it would go hand in hand. Alright, tapped land is better than missing. Let's go ahead and kill the Scorch Spitter now, just in case they're playing Infuriate. Would prefer to not get blown out by that card. Gonna fetch a second red here, because remember we need red, red, black, black. Although maybe I'm supposed to fetch a white because I do have Shatter the Sky in my deck. Nice Bloodbath. Yeah, she's real good. She's still part of my arena team. Electrostatic Field, eh? Think we start with Tiamat Calls the Dead. This thing on the final chapter, of this, it gains us life and scry, so we're gonna want to go Calls the Dead here to make a bunch of zombies and gain as much life as possible. So mill 3, exile enchantment creature, make a zombie, do the same, and then gain X scry X for X number of zombies you control. So they have 2 haste dorks up here, so we're gonna hit smack for 3 this turn, down to 13. Hopefully we'll pop up 2 more 2/2s next turn. Then we'll gain 2 the following turn. Cavalier of Dawn's a good reason to fetch white on my Fabled Passage too. I wonder if they're an Embercleave deck. They're swinging in a lot of different directions. They have electrostatic fields here too. Kroxa will be good if we can find a 4th land. Our graveyard's going to be really stocked up from these Calls of the Dead. So you want to turn off auto-order triggered abilities here, because next turn I want to make sure I make a zombie before I scry and gain life, so I can gain the maximum. If you say it like that, I'm sure we'll draw basic Plate Sexer. That's fair. That's fair. They gonna attack us for 4 here? Yep. Okay, so I get to go block, block, take 4 down to 9. And then we're gonna gain 3 next turn, which is great. So I want to stack this so I make a zombie before I scry. And notably gain life. So exile that. Now we'll scry 3, gain 3. I think I just leave these here, right? And then we'll just play this out. So I don't want to play this other Calls the Dead out, because I don't want to clear these cards off the top of my deck, ideally. We should stabilize pretty hard here, huh? We're going to gain another 3 life next turn. We're going to draw a land, which will let us bring back Kroxa. Yeah. Alright, now that was the easy game, remember? That was the game where we were on the play. So now we gotta try and win a game on the draw. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Just like turn 2 stomp, turn 3 calls the dead. I have 2 white sources, so Cavalier of Dawn is possible, is likely to be castable on 5. Spear Spewer, eh? Stop that one, huh? This one, they're both kind of unblockable damage, but this one makes them pay a mana to be unblockable. Drawing a 5th land that doesn't cast Cavalier feels a little bad. Perfect. Sweet. Found 2 enchantments there, so we'll get to guaranteed make zombies twice. Next turn, we'll get to go Blood Crypt tap, Bonecrusher, and then we can play Cavalier of Dawn on 4. On 5. Spear Trigger Spitfire 2, yeah, that's a good call. Light them up. We're on fire! Oh, ho, 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 do, 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 do. Going down to 11 here. Make another Zomboy and girl. Tapped. Bonecrusher. This can still unblockable us, but like that's only 1 damage per turn. It's gonna gain us a life next turn. I do lose my Scry because I'm gonna have to fetch up planes for Cavalier here, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, they're mostly out of gas. If we can answer this Tin Street Dodger, Doom Foretold is pretty good. Huh? I don't think I want another one though. What if I give them a 3/3? Is that okay? I feel like that's okay. I feel like I kill their unblockable thing and give them a 3/3. Like I've got this 4/6, right? For a Weaselback Redcap, I can trade here. So if they attack with everything, I go block, block, trade, take 2. So this seems fine. Because this can't even attack into my 4/6. Pays 2 to get 2 attacks, so I can only get up to 5 here. This is an excellent draw, because it lets me stick Doom Foretold and not sacrifice either of these next turn, which is great. Although Doom does take a hot second to really get going here, because they have these Grim Innates. Yeah, we're rapidly approaching the corner turn for sure. Honestly, with the Treacherous Blessing in my hand, it might even be right to sack this Cavalier of Dawn a little aggressively and get back the second Doom Foretold to crunch them out. That's probably not right, though. Definitely not interested in attacking. Don't want to let them double block this Cavalier. Yeah, we're stopped at this red light. We're gonna catch up soon. Would love to draw an Oathakaya here, as always, against the mono red deck. It's weird what happens if we have lands and spells. It's aggressive. Hopefully they don't have a cleave here. Might be bad for us. Hey, P. Cardon, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful one wherever you're at. So this attack killed my 2/2 and like threw away a bunch of their stuff. I'm very confused. Seems like a medium attack for them. How crazy is it to Shatter the Sky here? What if I attack them for 8 and then Shatter? And then get back Doom Foretold? I'll end up at 12, draw 2. Because they'll get a token from the Grim. Yeah, the Shatter draws a card too. I think that's my play. Oh, I guess that's bad. That's bad because it means I don't get to sack my Treacherous Blessing because I'd lose both Dooms. Yeah, I need a way to take Blessing off there. Okay, so I should have played a tap plan there. That's fine. I don't know. I think we're far enough ahead at this point. That's gonna be rather difficult to lose. Barring something exceptional. Yeah. A lot of choices there. I mean, I would have had 2/2s as well, Draken, but yeah. Oh, wait, this is a video game? I forgot to put my headset on when we changed to video games. Aren't video games fun, chat? I think video games are fun. Sure. It's more fun than working in spreadsheets all day. You're not wrong. Excel's a video game if you've ever played Eve. I've heard that. I've never played Eve, but have some friends that do still play. Doom on you. Doom on you. Look at that. Skillfully milled over land so we don't have to draw more of them. That's not good clean living. I don't know what is. We're hoping to draw some eggs, some Oathakayas, Treacherous Blessing. Looking to pick up things here that make it so we can make them keep sacrificing with Doom while we don't. Ooh, that's a Kroxa. Okay, so we're going to decline to bring that back. I think even though I could bring Kroxa back this turn... Oh, actually, I can't, right? Yeah, I could fetch... No, I can't, actually, because of the way things lined up. All right, let's just play Doom. I think it's important that I play Doom this turn, because this would go away next turn, and I want to sacrifice it to Doom before it ends the saga. Like, scry 1, gain 1's not that valuable. Making them sack another thing is.
Civilization has crept too far. Tear it down.
Yes, the only historic legal cards in this set that are not standard in this deck that aren't standard legal are some of the mana base. Had a request specifically to play this archetype in this format. So we are. I think this deck's fine in standard too. We played it there once. Let's go ahead and escape this. I think we're probably dead here. Feels pretty dead. And that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to with Rotation in the fall. Like, not only does Teferi get to eat crap and get out of standard, but I'm looking forward to Historic being a little bit more unique, because there's definitely a number of decks we've played in Historic that are similar to this. We're just like, they're standard decks with better mana. And I think once Historic has mana bases that are very different from standard, it'll feel more unique. Definitely feels a little standard plus at the moment. The Pioneer set was bad today, as has often been the case recently. Yeah, Charles, red black Titan is fine to run back. Super happy with that one. Need one more trim here. Cavalier's probably a little slow. Let's put in one Despark. Pioneer set was bad, as is tradition. Yep. Yeah, if we make it through the end of the current Pioneer submissions that I have, and it's still almost every set is bad, we'll be cutting that back off the schedule a bit. I think we'll probably keep it to like 1 to 2 days a week still, just for the sake of variety and like keeping our finger on the pulse of the format a little bit, but definitely don't plan to slog through Pioneer every day and take a bunch of decks if it just keeps being bad sets of Magic. It's not enjoyable for me, and it's not good content for people to watch. Open 3 gold shards. I mean, to be fair, the statistics on getting legendaries are real low in that game. I think even the gold shards are like 12% or 16%. Hey, thanks for the tip, Charles. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. Hey, Double Edge, thanks for the quarter of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I agree right now. And like I've often said, the key to enjoying any format, in my opinion, is just like having a deck that you really enjoy playing in said format. And I think there's decks, so like I don't want to cut Pioneer altogether, because I know there's people that enjoy that format. And I think I could enjoy Pioneer in its current state too, if I'm not taking random decks that people submit. So I've upped the price of Pioneer to $50 for submissions, and I'm still going to be more selective even at that price. And I think my plan is, if the format stays more combo focused still, I'm just going to instead pick the decks personally that we'll be playing once or twice a week. So that way I can have a little bit more control over the quality of the games that we're playing. They discarded Klothys when I played an escape creature. That makes me think they probably have another one. Yep. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not gonna be able to escape back our boy now. This card was Steel Leaf Champion, and maybe Chain Whirler seems real sweet. If Pioneer ends up being awful, I might dip into Modern with some decks that I would like to try there again as well. We'll see. A big part of why I moved off of Modern and into Pioneer was because the donation deck system just doesn't work there. And again, this is my job, so like me playing decks that I'm picking is less profitable than playing decks that people have paid me to play, obviously, right? I feel like that's straightforward to say, but it's worth pointing out. If we play it sparingly, the videos might be popular enough to offset not getting paid for specific decks, but it's still no guarantee. All right, well, we'll take one draw step at a sweeper here, but feeling pretty dead. I've got 4 shatters in my deck at the moment. We'll see if we can rip one of those. For reference, Chuki, I'm not planning to explore Modern or put my own Pioneer decks in until I'm through the current Pioneer queue. So, as always, I'm good at my job and I keep things scheduled out and backed up a little bit. So, like, you know, even after today's Pioneer deck, there's still 14 to 27. There's still 13 Pioneer decks in the queue. So, like, that's another, like, 2.5 weeks worth of Pioneer decks in a deck a day. Yeah, like the Manaless Dredge deck might be something that could be fun to explore in Modern. Like focus on the more unique things that might be good. Zajad, Modern Breach combo has been running around too, so you can enjoy Yawgmoth's Will in multiple formats. I think it's unfair to compare Underworld Breach to Yawgmoth's Will, because Underworld Breach is degenerate in a completely different way. In the decks that are leveraging Breach, it's actually much better than Yawgmoth's Will would be. I'm actually not sure Yawg Will's actually that good in a format devoid of, like, Lotus Petals and Black Lotus is. Ascian's pretty good against that start. We got a good 3-4-5 curve here, assuming we find another white source. Perfect. Doom on you. Doom on you. Thanks for the 16 months, like Amash. It is a sweet one indeed. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. So they discard a card, lose 2 life. We gain 2 life, draw a card, get a knight. Feels amazing, man. They would not. Undead Voodoo. So indestructible prevents destroy effects. Let's just go ahead and kill this. Replace it with a 3/3 rather than something that pumps. Play a tapped land and pass here. Yes, it would not be a creature anymore. Dumping truck. Thanks for shipping that prime this way again. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Do any sweepers do that? I mean, if they exile. So there are a few sweepers that exile. There's a few sweepers that put creatures on the bottom of their owner's library instead of killing them. So like Terminus is an example of a sweeper that sees play. Hour of Devastation is a sweeper that's templated to kill indestructible creatures because it technically strips indestructible off them. So a couple of things kind of accomplish what you're asking about. So it's probably a Bonecrusher matchup. I think I don't want Agonizing Remorse. I'd rather have more cards that play to the board. Extra Shatter sounds good. Oh, that Conqueror's Death is particularly exciting. I'll trim one of those. Yeah, I agree, Telvik. All his dust is a sweeper that works, yeah. Trump's new theory, Democrats and fake news invented the coronavirus. No, stop it. Stop it. Tell me that's a lie. That's not even close to a real quote, right? Dad, can I get off this ride? I would like a different timeline, please. I can't tell. That's one of those things that sounds dumb enough that he couldn't possibly have said it, but like the reality in which we're living is that certainly something that could have fallen out of his mouth. I need the quote on that. I can't tell. I need a source. Every other time this year, I've thought that's too stupid. There's no way he actually said that. He's always said it. That's a lie. That's not close to a real quote. Are you feeling? Maybe. Hold on, please do. I really need a source. I really do. Think we might be in a position where we start sacking eggs to get cards in our bin for this. I think I'm going to hold on to Oath of Kaya. I could play it out aggressively to get a card in my bin, but I think it's smart to hold my removal spell here. Rush Limbaugh started saying that it is a Chinese weapon used flu to defeat Trump. Well, I mean, he got the National Medal of Honor or whatever it is, right? So if Rush Limbaugh said it, it must be true. All right, so this fetch land lets me escape Kroxa here. And then Tiamat Calls the Dead is actually really reasonable because it means if they do kill this, it fills my graveyard back up so I can escape it again. Because your creature dies when state-based actions are checked, TX Pump. You can't respond to state-based actions. So something important to understand is people ask, like, why is it called a coronavirus? Coronaviruses, I believe the common cold is considered a coronavirus, right? So coronaviruses are a classification of viruses, and this is a specific new type of them. It's a family of pathogens. Okay, good. I got the science kind of correct there. And then this one, this new void is specifically being called Covoid 19. All right, so minimum cards in our bin. Let's play this, kill their 3/3, and then let's Calls the Dead. I mean, to be fair, that's how you get people behind them, Boshek. Is you gotta make them realize that these things improve their lives, right? I don't know. Maybe we could get through to more boomers if their kids made them realize that them and their grandkids depended on these things and needed them to happen. The name coronavirus is derived from the Latin corona, meaning crown or halo, which refers to the characteristic appearance of the virus particles. Wikipedia. There you go. Do that. Yay, Wikis. Eldest Reborn. So we're gonna have to discard a card. And then, I should have held the land in case I draw a spell I don't want to discard. That's fine. So we'll stomp their face here so I don't discard this. And then we'll escape this. SARS, MERS, and the common cold are coronaviruses. So this eventually gets something back out of their bin, but Knight's the scariest thing there. And Kroxa kills them rather quickly. Yeah, I think I'm in for that. Oh, that's a good thought. I forgot that this was both graveyards. I'm used to playing with the other one, chat. Yeah, I definitely should have exiled my Cavalier. We've been playing with a lot of Conqueror's Death, right? They're totes about to take my Cavalier. Yikes, because now when this dies, they get their Eldest Reborn back. This is a pretty big mistake on my part. That could easily lose me this game. I feel like we were pretty close to 100% here without this mistake. And now, like, they have this. And then punish for holding on to Oathakaya and not playing it out here. That's one less card in my discard pile here too now. Thanks for the 38 months, JW. Welcome back. That is... If I do this, it puts 3 more cards in my bin. And we both draw a card, and then I Kroxa and can exile my Cavalier, even if they get back their Eldest Reborn. Yeah, but I'm going to get to exile my Cavalier to Kroxa. So I think that's fine. Do I just calls the dead this turn? So this way this can't make me Edict the Kroxa? I think that's the plan. So you can control your badges if you go into your view settings redlocks, but the 1, 2, 3 bit leaders for the week replace those by default. But you can toggle that off if you want. So if you're on desktop, you can click appearance settings for your profile. Oh, I should have eaten the Cavalier. Yeah, we just talked about that. That's fine. We have plenty of chance to eat the Cavalier here. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we're basically splashing red for Kroxa in this deck, right? Like, it kills people. Like, one of the things these Doom Foretold archetypes struggle to do is close the game out. So I intentionally held that land in my hand to discard the Eldest Reborn here, so that way the land could be in my graveyard to fuel Kroxa down the line. Deal. All right, I'm going to go ahead and attack with Kroxa here. Gets the card out of their hand. They can pump this and block, and then we play Doom Foretold, which will eat their Eldest Reborn and leave us in a real good spot. How long have we been on this deck? About 50 minutes. Probably going to play one more match after this one. So my Kroxa dies, but I get to play Doom, and then I get to escape it right back. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. So do. Well, this happens during their upkeep. This doesn't happen to main phase. So active, non-active doesn't matter here. Did you have fun in the match? Of course I did. Of course I did. Thanks for the biddies, wife. Farming ad bits. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Gosh, my Twitter's been on hot fire in the last 24 hours, chat. I've managed to piss off centrists and libertarians. My mentions have been great. Never forget, chat. Blocking is self-care. Blocking is self-care. Hey, Cody, thanks for gifting a sub. I appreciate it. That's true. You do get bonus shillings once per month. Fibble D Thip. This is probably Temur Breach, which if I had to guess is likely gonna dumpster us. I feel like we're gonna struggle to be competitive here. Hey, good morning, Bob. Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be. Just shilling in Beverly Hills. Do 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 do, do 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 do. So I think I'm supposed to just lead on Treacherous Blessing here rather than this. I'm gonna have to discard to hand size, but like Shatter doesn't really do much in this matchup anyway, so discarding it's like not a big deal. Discard my 6th land as well, I think. That one's pretty good against us, chat. Yeah, confirmed breach. For people that haven't seen the opponent's deck, it's one we've played on stream. It's very, very good. I think it's arguably the best deck in this format right now. While I've definitely enjoyed Historic, I do think part of the enjoyment from Historic is linked to the fact that this format's very casual and doesn't have a compelling competitive payoff. Which means when decks like this are busted, you don't have that many people playing or aware of them because there aren't like SCG Opens, Grand Prix, or PTs to highlight them. We could lose the game this turn. Okay, so if they have an Underworld Breach, we lose. So, the way this works now from here is every time they cast Mox Amber, they escape for 3 cards, but they mill 4 with Diligent Excavators, so they get to deck themselves while making mana, and then eventually they cast Thassa's Oracle and win the game. So we are deterministically dead here. Yeah, that's probably true too, Bob. The raw number of bad play patterns in this format is almost assuredly lower than the raw number of bad play patterns in Pioneer. That's a pretty low bar, I think, overall, because, like, the number of pretty bad play patterns in Pioneer is pretty high at the moment. I think I just have to turn into, like, this awkward beatdown deck. Our deck's not good at being a beatdown deck, but we have to try. So we have Kroxa and Bonecrusher to pressure. Sure. Yeah, playing some Grafdigger's Cage in our 75 might make sense, or Leyline of the Void, perhaps. I definitely don't have a particularly stellar sideboard for this matchup. I think this is the first time I've actually played against this Breach deck. in the last 2 weeks of playing Historic, so like it hasn't really been on my mind on a list of things I need to respect. If that makes sense. Agonizing Remorse, exiling the card we take here is so good. Just because just discarding it isn't very good against Breach because they just recast it later. Do I want to exile Kroxa for a zombie? I think so. Well, so the way Doom interacts with Tamiyo is actually kind of okay. With Doom Foretold, we just automatically draw a card, gain 2 life, so like it makes a creature, which is fine. Pioneer was a dumpster fire. This deck's been alright. We've had some good games. Almost at the end of this one, I'm ready to dive into some standard. There's a reason to play Kisis over Breach. Not if you want to be linear. The upside, in my opinion, to Kisis over the Breach deck is the Kisis deck gets to have an interactive backup plan. So if having an interactive backup plan or a fair backup plan is good, Kisis is better. If you're just looking to race people, the opponent's archetype is definitely better. Love another black source here. Maybe I'm supposed to keep 2 lands on top with Conqueror's Death. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play out Bonecrusher and just put as much pressure into play as possible. We just want to be the beatdown here. I think it's just board games. Yeah, that one's good.
Excellent. I think you will find my notes helpful.
My son's been watching you for a while with me, and the other night he got a Reese's as a treat, and he said there's no wrong way to eat this, that and more peanut butter on top. That sounds like a great kid right there. That's perfect. All right, so am I supposed to send 6 at Tamiyo? Let's lead on this and let it inform our decision. Okay, I'm gonna take their Uro and then kill their Tamiyo here, I think. Because there's like on empty in terms of resources. Hey, McNux, thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to leave them the Uro and take the Mox just because I could Conqueror's Death the Uro next turn. That might have been an okay line. So they're dead to Othakaya here. I guess this leaves them dead to Othakaya, which is better. Yeah, I like my line. Ahmad, yep. You can always get a sword to go with your shield. Conqueror's Death is very good. Felt very satisfied with my appraisal of that card. Doldy, thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hit me with the timeout. Thanks for the biddies, Love and Storm. I got you. We have Oath of Kaya to deal with this. I'd really like to draw an untapped land here. I think I'm supposed to Agonizing Remorse on 2 here. Double Uro. Well, that sucks. Storm's Wrath. It's real bad, Rexbox. Like I said, we pissed off the libertarians. The idea that we should give people should have access to healthcare is I especially liked the specimen of humanity that compared giving people healthcare, the right to healthcare, was comparable to putting guns to the head of a doctor and making them work. That was my favorite. That was my favorite bit. Yes, libertarians are all about choice. Libertarians believe that poor people should be able to choose a variety of different ways that they should be broke and die. You should have the freedom to choose the way in which you get screwed by capitalism. Paladin Drum, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Man, that's a rough beat. We buried 6 cards and just didn't hit any enchantments or creatures. Of course, we drew one in the middle. Yeah, the libertarian ideology only works in theory because anybody who's lived or existed in the real world knows that it just breaks down and doesn't work there. Just choose to not get sick. Yeah, exactly. They should just choose to not be poor. I know you just said that in jest, but that was an actual response in my comments last night. Just get better jobs, poor people. All right, let's Noxious Grasp that. We'll save Conqueror's Death to exile an Uro here. We'll shock their face with the bone. I am not kidding. I would recommend you go read the responses to my coronavirus tweet from last night, but I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So in fact, I'd rather explicitly recommend you don't do that and just like go about your day smiling instead. Ignorance is bliss. My bootstraps. Yeah, I'm not over exaggerating anything I just mentioned here. Those are all like literal comments. It's something else. They say his block list grew 3 sizes that day. What does he put in playing? They're playing Temur Breach, which is a deck that we played on stream before. I actually think it's incredibly good and powerful in this format. However, we have had a good round of disruption this game, which is great. What's it called? Agonizing Remorse is actually incredibly good interaction in this matchup just because it exiles. Like, same palindrome. Same. In my early 20s, I would have told you I identified as a libertarian. Because it sounds great in theory. And by sounds great in theory, I mean the theory sounds great if you don't think too hard about it. So Fabled Thip hides himself if you shock him or target him. So if I would have shocked Fabled Thip, I would have lost my Bonecrusher Giant. I feel like libertarianism is a stage that like middle class, upper middle class people go through on their way to becoming a progressive, and that they just like, some people just end up stuck there because they don't evolve past it. So I think I need to hold Conqueror's Death for Uro here. So I think I need to kill Tamiyo with damage. Waterbender. Thanks for the Twitch Prime. Yeah, they're usually white dudes. Not always white dudes, but I feel like often are white dudes. Middle class with privilege, often white dude. Middle class with privilege doesn't realize the benefits that they have for being middle class and white, and ends you in the libertarian camp a lot of the time, I think. The problem here is they have a second Uro in their bin and they still have 11 cards. So this is some of the backup power of their deck. Like, we've picked apart and stopped them from comboing us so far, but these Uros might still just bury us. So they're down to 7 here, but again, this Uro's ready to escape the Underworld too, so I kind of need to peel another piece of spot removal, ideally another Conqueror's Death. So, in my experience having interacted with a lot of middle-class white people, Hype 2 Def, is that a lot of people, when you try to explain the concept of privilege to them, is people think that privilege means that they never had to work for anything. And that's where the disconnect comes from. When a lot of people who are in the middle class, who have honestly worked very hard for a lot of their lives, hear the idea that they've been afforded something called privilege, in their mind, you're telling them they haven't worked for anything. When in reality, what it actually means is that while they likely did work hard, someone else who wasn't white and middle class working the same amount of hard wouldn't have benefited as much as they did. And that's a really difficult concept for people to grasp. Like, having the opportunity to be able to work is a privilege, and that a lot of people don't understand that part of it. So we just take Underworld Breach here, right? Because otherwise they combo us. I guess they're technically a Mox short, but they could find a Mox with these other cards. No, they have 2 Oracles. There's an Oracle in their bin, right? There is an Oracle. There's just one in their hand, huh? I think they usually play 2. Do they only play 1? They might only play 1. I feel like the build we played only played 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Oracle and hope it's their only one. Because, like, I kind of can't grind these cards out at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and attack them for 8 here. They get a free block, but my Conqueror's Death is going to bring back the Giant next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know that you need a second Oracle in the main deck, but having a second Oracle in your 75 for the Agonizing Remorse matchups doesn't seem unreasonable. All right, so now we're just kind of hanging out. We're like waiting for a Kroxa here so we can like have some Titan parity a little bit. They have 4 card draws in play though, so like if they have some more fair cards here, we could have a little bit of trouble. Wait, did they just mill me? Do they not remember that I have Kroxa in my deck? Thank you, opponent. I appreciate your service. Yeah, that must have been their only Oracle, right? Yeah, that must signal that was their only Oracle. And like, I have 19 cards in here now, and I'm gonna get more if they keep milling me. So like, our Kroxa should be able to beat their Uro if that's what they're doing. Do I even Othakaya their Excavator? Like, I feel like I don't, right? If they're gonna mill me? So like, swinging an Oathing Uro doesn't really do anything, because like, they have 13 cards in their bin. I'd rather wait till next turn and attack with everything. Their deck has 21 cards, minus 26. I think I just killed their thing and pass here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was their only Oracle, and we're going to scrap this out, which is sweet. Well, you can't get Oracle. You can't fetch Oracle with Fae. So do you keep Jace in your board? That's a real thing. You keep Jace in the board. Okay, so they played Breach here, and they get to generate some value now. Do they, like, play out Excavators and an Emery, or do they, like, play out Tamiyo? They've got Emery, Excavators, Tamiyo, Breach here. Fae of Wishes doesn't get creatures. I'm uncertain if you've actually played this, because if you'd played it, you'd know that. Or maybe you've theory crafted it and not played it. Alright, so this must be their plan then, huh? Their plan is just like try and turbo mill us? Oh wait, they're milling themselves? Wait, are they milling me or they're who are you milling, opponent? Who? Oh, they're just gonna mill us now, right? They're gonna mill themselves enough to deck us? God, their deck is gasoline. I think if Historic was more popular and more managed, I would say their deck would end up banned, but at the same time, they haven't banned it in Pioneer, so it would probably just be busted. In a world where Wizards cares about their formats, I feel like this card gets blasted away. Is this the Shift Elite card from Theros? Is this the one? This is the card in the set that's supposed to get Shift deleted. This is the immense design mistake. Like, I really want to know. I would like to be able to talk to Wizards R&D and be like, what was the reality that you were living in? What did they expect this card to do to not look busted in half? What fair, reasonable, not absurd combo deck did they picture this card going in where it's not just nuts, right? Like what's the best case, ideal use case scenario for this card? What did it look like? They only have 6 cards left in their deck. I think they can deck me, but I'm gonna make them do it. Hey, Belden, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. You're having a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with your Bezo bucks. $12 cards in my deck, 6 cards in theirs. Okay, yeah, so they mill themselves 4 more, and then, yeah, so we're deterministically milled. That was impressive. That was impressive. We took their oracles and then just like no problem combo milled us instead. Daily deals, I've not. They hadn't rolled over before we started this one. Overall, this deck was fine. I think if we played it again, you probably want some graveyard hate in your sideboard, probably over the Duresses and maybe some Desparks, like get 3 to 4 pieces of graveyard hate in here. You could play Grafdigger's Cage. Actually, you need to play Leyline of the Void, right? Because Grafdigger's Cage would stop our Kroxa. So probably just want to jam a bunch of Leylines in the board if you're going to play this in Historic. I don't know if there's really a super compelling reason to play this in Historic, though. As I mentioned at the start, the only Historic legal cards we're playing are the Buddy Lands. I don't really think there's spells that we really want to play from Historic in here. Yeah, a lot of the things Despark does, Elspeth Conqueror's Death also covers. I agree. So if you really wanted to play this in Historic, I'd recommend playing Leylines. If you want to play this in Standard, it's fine there as well. You just replace the Buddy Lands with Temples and then play something close to the 75. All right, let's check the daily deals before we hit a quick ad roll and then flip things over to Standard, huh? Are there Zerta Goblins in my green-red aggro deck today? I think there are. All right, fine. I'll buy discounted foil Zerta Goblins. You're going to twist my arm about it. All right, I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while we get things flipped over and get Arena restarted. When we get back, we're going to play some matches with this green-red aggro deck featuring Mantle of the Wolf here. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.